Okay, SG6. This is where we have to solve area, volume, surface area of all these different kinds of shapes. Before we get started, I want to look at 1 and 2 are flat. They are plane shapes. These are three-dimensional shapes. So we're just going to go ahead and start. This is most of a circle. So this says, what is the area of the partial circle if the radius is 8 inches long? Leave your answer in terms of pi, meaning you're not going to have to multiply times 3.14. Okay. So right here, from here to here, is 8. That is our radius. Okay. What I'm going to do is there is no formula for 3/4 of a pi. There's just not. Okay. So you're going to have to find the whole thing. Find the area of the whole thing. So area, again, it'll be on your formula sheet, equals pi r squared. They said we don't multiply by 3.14, so you're just going to leave the pi there. So our radius is 8. So 8 squared. Remember, there's no squared button on here. Okay. So it's just 8 times 8. Not 8 times 2 is 64. So our area is 64 pi. Okay. Now, I don't have a whole pi. That's how much it is for the whole thing if all of this was filled in. But it's not. So I have 3/4 of a pi. So I have 64 pi times 3/4. Okay, 64 pi over 1 times 3/4. So 64 times 3, again, times 3 equals, and then that's over 4. So 192 over 4. Well, oops, 5. Now I just have to divide by 4. So I come back, 192 divided by 4. 48. Is that less than 64? Yes, so that makes sense. So it's 48 pi is the area of this part because you have 3/4 taken out. Or you have 3/4 of the pi. I know it's 3/4 because this makes exactly a square, so that has to be exactly 1/4 of the pi. What is the area of the trapezoid? Now, there is a formula for a trapezoid. They're not going to give it to you, so I'm not going to use it. So I'm going to draw a line straight down from here and straight down from here. Now, what I do have is the area of a square, and I know the area of triangles. So, or I'm sorry, a rectangle. So I know that this is 8 inches high. So this is 8 right here. This is 8 right here. Okay, and I know that this is 3.5. This whole thing right here is 6.5 inches, not just this little part. Don't get confused. So I know my area of this right here is 3.5 times 8. So I'm going to come to my calculator here. 8 times 3.5 equals 28. So I know that the area of this inside rectangle is, again, 28. 28. Now I'm going to find the area of these little triangles. So I know that 3.5 and 6.5, I already used up this part right here. I don't want to know this part anymore. I only want to know these little bitty parts on the sides. I want to know how long this little bitty part is, and I want to know how long this little bitty part is. So I'm going to subtract 6.5 minus 3.5 equals 3. Okay, good. So I have 3. Does that mean this is 3 and this is 3? Well, if I added 3 plus 3.5 plus, that would be 9.5. So no. But if I divide it by 2, I can say, oh, 3 divided by 2 equals, 1.5. So this little part, this little yellow part over here is 1.5. And this little yellow part over here is 1.5. So I'll just find the area of this triangle. And I know the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. Or you do your base times your height and you just divide by 2. So my base is 1.5 and my height is 8. So clear. 1.5 was my base times my height was 8. And then I divide by 2. Divide by 2. So that's 6. So my little area for this over here is 6, which means the one over here is also 6. So if I add up all my areas together, I have 3 of them. I have 6 plus 6 plus 28 equals 40. So my whole area for this whole thing is 40 inches. Now, these two are a little more complicated. I'm actually going to skip to 4 really quick because volume is much easier than surface area. If the volume of a prism is 120 cubic feet, what is the length? Okay, so we know that this volume is length times width times height. Okay, this times this times this. So it told us the volume is 120 already. So I took the V out, put 120. I know that the height is 5 and the width is 4. So what I don't know is this right here. So 5 times 4 is 20. So I have 120 equals 20x. Divide by 20, divide by 20. 120 divided by 20 equals 6. So if I took my x out and put 6 here, I would get, so my height is 6. Let's come over here. Now, surface area is usually really tricky because you have to find out the area of every single surface and add them all up. And we know there's 6 surfaces here because it is a cube. And you know, a cube has 6 sides. Now, this one's special, though, because it is a cube. That means every single side is exactly the same. So we only have to find one side, and we can multiply it by 6. So I know this is 3 and this is 3. So what is the surface area of this square? 3 times 3 is 9. So that's this one. But I have 6 of them. So 9 times 6 equals, and let's say you cannot remember your 9's times tables. 9 times 6 equals 54. So you have 54 inches cubed. There's your answer. I'm sorry, not inches cubed, inches squared, because it's surface area. Inches squared. You did this side plus this side plus this side. All 6 sides were 9, so you multiplied them by 6 and got 54 inches squared.